So let's just settle into our meditation posture and check your feet and your legs. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure they're either in a parallel position, or if you're cross-legged, that you have either something under your knees. If your hips are tight and your knees are sore, you just want to be supported and relaxed. And you definitely need something firm underneath your sit bones, and the pelvis needs to be upright. Hands are in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left, with thumbs touching. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, welcome watered, stretching from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head, and beyond. Imagine your head is reaching for the ceiling. The head is slightly tipped forward. Eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Just bring our attention to the crown of the head and relax the scalp. Excuse me, and the forehead and the eyes. You can go to the back of the eye socket and just relax all the muscles there. Relax the nose, the area around the mouth. And then bring your awareness to the back of the head and relax the scalp down to the occipital bone, the base of the skull. Relax your ears and your inner ears, and the temples and the jaw again. And relax the back of the neck and the shoulders, the upper thoracic, in between your shoulder blades. Relax your chest, throat, belly, and limbs, hands and fingers, the feet and the toes, and bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling, slightly cooler than the air you're exhaling. Just bring the mind to the breath. If there's any sounds in your external environment, you just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow them with your mind or push them away if they're annoying. You just let the sounds be, and then you'll notice sounds are arising, thoughts will be arising in your mind. And just notice them. Thoughts will arise, they'll abide. And if you don't do anything with them, they'll just dissipate. So try not to engage with your thoughts or become distracted by them or judge yourself, start engaging in any negative self-talk. And just keep bringing the mind back to the breath and leave the thoughts alone. So let's just bring to mind all the people of our life, the ones we love, who support us, who take care of us. And then there's those that we don't love that much, who irritate us and we irritate them. And then there's those ones who are strangers to us, we're indifferent to them. We don't notice them much. Probably wouldn't recognize them on the street. And think all these different groups of people are equal. We should try and develop equal concern for these 3 different groups of people. even though we feel differently about each people from each group, it would be good to be equally concerned about the stranger as we are about our nearest and dearest loved ones, or equally concerned about the person we don't really like, but we're not. But it's good to think about something to aim for, to try and develop a little bit more equanimity. And all these three groups of people, they're the same in their wish to be happy, their wish to avoid suffering. And they're all the same with this unbelievable potential for enlightenment. So just think that we're going to do this practice this evening, this Vajrasattva practice, in the context of the four opponent powers, for all the people of our life, and by extension for all sentient beings. And we can think particularly of the people in Ukraine now. This war is going on, it's causing a lot of damage on all levels. And for the people in Russia, in Poland, and as the conflict spreads in various different ways across the planet. So everyone is affected. So that we do this practice also to pacify our own negative seeds, perhaps to think about pacifying conflict, pacifying COVID, pacifying delusions. So just remember, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And right now we all think Putin's evil. He's doing a lot of bad stuff. But even Putin, if he were to do this practice, there would be nothing that he's done that couldn't be purified. So I just use him as an example because he's the person we're seeing right now as the cause of all of this. So if there's something that you feel that you've done yourself that's just terrible, that you can't forgive, just think there's people who've done a lot worse than you, and even they, were they to do this practice, would be able to purify their negative karma. So we just need to calm our own minds down about how bad we think we really are. So it doesn't matter what you've done, because it can be purified. So don't judge yourself too harshly. So we can start this practice with the four opponent powers, the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives, and think specifically of actions of your body and your speech. And then generally regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this idea of karma. Our past actions having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. Thus we cannot bear the thought of future suffering. So, logically, what we want to do is remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And so we'll also regret any anger, our delusions, attachment and grasping and jealousy and neediness. All these delusions cause us to harm others, and think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? And welcome, Alex. So here we come to the power of reliance. And the first section here is on refuge. So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods that we can use to heal ourselves. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, And you can also think that this is the mind of your Lama, your guru, your teacher, your trusted mentor, however you wish to see them, manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by mud. And it's just like our enlightened potential, which is born out of our delusions, but not tainted by them. Vajrasattva's face is radiant and beautiful, and he has these lotus-like eyes. They're long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. And he has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. You can also remember Guru Vajrasattva is wearing a five-pointed crown embodied with, and it's kind of like has jewels all over it. Also around his neck, his waist, his arms, beautiful golden bracelets, anklets, and there's jewels are set, sparkling. So what we're looking at, this image, is very bright, is lively, and he's wearing this silken robes in the Royal Indian style. They're sort of like scarves and, you know, those big floppy pants, harem type pants, beautiful colours, and they're celestial silk. It's kind of like this magical image above the crown of our head. And LAMA YESHE would say that doing these kinds of visualizations, it helps to brighten the mind. So visualization is not easy for you. You can just imagine this ball of white light above the crown of your head. That's fine too. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha I go for refuge until I am enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So think for the people that you have harmed, maybe you can try and develop a wish for them to not suffer, to be free from suffering. And although it's a little bit probably more difficult for the people who have harmed you, just develop a strong wish in your heart that they be free from suffering. Because the suffering they've caused you is going to end up as suffering for them in the future. So you can feel compassion for them because of that. So next we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice, recitation of the mantra and the visualization simultaneously. So we have the purification of the body first of all. So just imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar. It's almost like coming out of a hose quite forcefully, or from a waterfall, just pouring into you from his heart. Fills your entire body completely. But it keeps pouring into you and eventually forces out of the lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sidam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Tira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. So just imagine, as soon as somebody sees you, they feel you, they sense you coming into a room, it benefits their mind. So next is the purification of the speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this kind of rather forcefully overflows and disappears into space. So Lama Rinpoche would always say it's almost as if the force is almost as strong as if a wind would blow the hat off your head. So you can also imagine maybe it's like a whale spout, kind of getting rid of all the negativity of your speech. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying, talking badly about other people behind their back and getting other people to agree with you. All this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible that you could do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So the next is a purification of the mind, and just think Guru Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of laser light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and it enters your crown and fills you completely. So you can just imagine, it's the same as when you walk into a room and switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness. So same here, the minute the light touches your heart, that light instantly dispels the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all your depression, your anxiety, your anger, your bitterness, your jealousy, your attachments, your neediness, unhealthy desire, disappointments, rage, all of this completely purified by the light and not one atom left. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mebiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. gone. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and wisdom and bliss and compassion, kindness, forgiveness. So the next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And you can perhaps, if you wish, do a couple of mantras of with the visualizations of the body, speech and mind each. Or you can just imagine light and nectar pouring into you and eradicating all the negative energy, all the subtlest imprints of the negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mempiyata Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maho Samaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So now feel you are completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve. And this is a really important step. This is determination. This decision we make to refrain from harming. So just think again, I encourage you to rejoice in the efforts that you've been making for more than a year now. And rejoice in any successes that you might be having, no matter how small they are. And perhaps if you've been writing any of this down, maybe you'll see some progress. So amazing. First of all, please really rejoice. And then just think of something that you'd like to work on tonight, between tonight and tomorrow. Maybe it's something to do with your speech. Whether you refrain from that thing for 5 seconds or 30 seconds or overnight while you're sleeping is always a good one. As your head hits the pillow, I will not talk about so-and-so between now and tomorrow morning. And you won't, because you'll be asleep. So try not to do something that is too far-reaching. Just do something that's doable, that you can achieve. And gradually build on it. It will grow. And this determination to not do again is what gives us courage to change. So Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. So next Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while and think all phenomena are as empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can perhaps think that the way things are appearing to you, the way you're seeing things, taking things in, may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So just try and break down our concrete view of the world by thinking like this. So let's just dedicate all the merit, the positive energy you've created this evening doing this purification to all the living beings, thinking may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the three jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples. Please, please live long. And for Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. For Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Thank you so much, everyone.